All right, let's talk chemistry. Have you ever wondered if you could make a chemical reaction, well, go backwards? Today, we're diving into this incredible device that does exactly that. It's called the electrolytic cell, and believe me, it's a real powerhouse that literally forces chemical change to happen. Okay, picture this. A ball just naturally rolls downhill, right? That's the easy part. But what if you want to get it back up to the top? Well, you got to give it a push. That exact same idea is what's going on in the world of chemistry, and it's really the key to everything we're talking about today.
So, let's get right into it. We're going to call this first part the chemical uphill battle.
You see, some chemical reactions just happen, all by themselves. Think about iron rusting. That's what chemists call a spontaneous reaction. It's our ball rolling downhill. But what about all the reactions that don't just happen? Turns out a lot of the really important ones, the ones that give us things like pure metals and essential chemicals, are non-spontaneous. They won't go unless they get that big push of energy from the outside. So the big question is, what is this push? I mean, how do you even build a machine that can force a reaction to go uphill? Well, let's dive in and take a look at the incredible device that makes it all happen. And here it is. This is the solution, the electrolytic cell. It's this super clever setup that uses electricity to make reactions that seem, impossible, actually happen. This is the engine that's going to push our chemical ball right back up that hill. Okay, let's break this thing down. It's really got 4 key parts. First up, you've got the power source. That's our push, our energy. Then you've got 2 electrodes called the anode and the cathode. These are the spots where the real chemical action happens. And finally, you have the electrolyte. This is usually something like molten salt, and it's just full of these free-moving ions that are ready to react and get the electricity flowing. So how does this all actually work? Well, once we flip the switch and turn on the power, the anode gets a positive charge, and the cathode gets a negative one. Now let's stick with our molten salt example. That's NaCl, right? The negative chloride ions, they're immediately attracted to that positive anode. When they get there, they go through oxidation, which is just a fancy way of saying they lose some electrons. At the exact same time, the positive sodium ions get pulled over to the negative cathode, and there they undergo reduction. They gain electrons. And boom, just like that, we forced a reaction that takes regular old table salt and splits it back into pure sodium metal and chlorine gas. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, now this is where things can get a little tricky, because there's actually another type of electrochemical cell out there. So to make sure we've got this all straight, let's put them side by side and make the difference totally clear. So let's really break this down. On one side, you have our electrolytic cell. Remember, it consumes energy to force a reaction to happen. But on the other side, you have something called a galvanic cell. Just think of any normal battery. A battery produces energy from a reaction that happens all on its own. They're basically opposites, 2 sides of the very same electrochemical coin. Now, here is the absolute most important takeaway from this whole comparison. The charges on the electrodes, they're completely reversed. In our electrolytic cell, the anode is positive and the cathode is negative. But in a battery, a galvanic cell, it's the exact opposite. That is the critical difference you got to remember. All right, so that's all the theory. But you're probably wondering, why does any of this actually matter? What's the point? Well, let's jump into our next section and see just how much this process shapes the world all around us. I mean, you would be absolutely amazed at how much of our modern world depends on this, seriously. Without electrolysis, the aluminum that's in our cars, our phones, even our soda cans, it would be crazy expensive, like as precious as gold. And you know that shiny silver or gold coating on jewelry? Yep, that's electroplating, which is just electrolysis in action. And get this, every single time you plug in your phone to charge it, you are literally using an electrolytic process to force the battery's chemical reaction to run backward. Okay, so we've seen how essential this process is today, but what about tomorrow? For our final thought, let's take a look at the future. Okay, so what if we took this whole idea, but instead of using salt, we used water, just plain old H2O. Imagine using clean, renewable energy from solar or wind power to run an electrolytic cell that splits water into hydrogen and oxygen. That hydrogen is an unbelievably clean and powerful fuel. So think about that. A technology that's more than 100 years old could be one of the biggest keys to unlocking our green energy future. A forced reaction that might just force a better future for all of us. Now that is something to think about.